Dive into the intense saga of Hyun Sung, a high schooler seeking revenge. From a tragic fall to a vegetative state, his journey is a relentless pursuit of redemption, fueled by blood, scars, and a thirst for retribution. Will this high schooler rise from the shadows, leaving an indelible mark of vengeance on his destiny? The story begins with our protagonist, Hyun Sung, falling from the roof, bewildered and realizing that he is plummeting to the ground. As he descends, his eyes lock onto the bullies who had callously pushed him. Hyun Sung, on the verge of graduation, has endured years of torment at the hands of these bullies. Despite the confusion, he knows one thing. This is the day that everything changes. The scene shifts to a hospital 3 months later, where Hyun Sung lies in a vegetative state. His concerned grandfather sits by his bedside, questioning how such a tragedy could occur. Meanwhile, Hyun Sung, trapped in his own body, yearns for revenge. His grandmother, having raised him after the death of his parents, refuses to give up, even in the face of doctors and nurses advising otherwise. She pleads for a sign of life from Hyun Sung, determined not to abandon him. Days pass, and Hyun Sung's younger brother, Hyun Jin, visits. He reveals that the bullies have turned their attention to him, and Hyun Sung, cursing his paralyzed body, can only listen helplessly. Hyun Jin informs him of their grandmother's struggles to cover the mounting medical bills, even at the cost of her own well-being. Overwhelmed by guilt, Hyun Sung contemplates the idea that death might have spared them this suffering. As the years go by, Hyun Sung's pain intensifies. His thoughts turn to a fantasy of going back in time to obliterate those who tormented him. Frustrated by the limitations of his paralyzed existence, he yearns for revenge and envisions a merciless plan to root out his tormentors. 7 years pass, and Hyun Sung crafts a diabolical scheme to bring about their downfall, vowing to make them suffer as he has. A decade elapses, and Hyun Sung, consumed by his quest for revenge, finds his perfect plan to be futile. Desperate for release, he begs for someone to end his life. In the next moment, he awakens in a surreal white world, where a mysterious figure approaches him. Suddenly, Hyun Sung opens his eyes to find himself back in a classroom. Confused and disoriented, he pinches himself and feels the pain, confirming that this is no dream. As he observes a bullying incident unfolding in the classroom, he realizes that this moment is the catalyst for all his past pain. Recollecting his years of suffering, Hyun Sung resolves that this is the beginning of his revenge. As Hyun Sung announces that this is the starting point of his plan, he boldly approaches the bully, Park Min Chul, and commands him to stop. Park Min Chul, filled with arrogance, questions Hyun Sung's ability to deal with the situation and continues to talk trash. Without warning, Hyun Sung delivers a powerful punch to Park Min Chul. In that moment, Hyun Sung feels as if he has returned to his first-grade self, a time he had desperately wished for. We are taken into Hyun Sung's flashback, recalling the day everything changed. Park Min Chul, a typical bully, had coerced Lee Jung-min into raising his online gaming character. This seemingly harmless act led to Lee Jung-min's grades dropping, and when Hyun Sung intervened to stop the bullying, Park Min Chul's gang began harassing him relentlessly. Hyun Sung vividly remembers being dragged and beaten by Park Min Chul's gang, describing it as hell on earth. Back in the classroom, a crowd gathers to witness the confrontation between Hyun Sung and Park Min Chul. Park Min Chul, shocked and bloodied, attempts to curse at Hyun Sung. However, to everyone's surprise, Hyun Sung grabs Park Min Chul's hair and slams his face onto the desk, creating a shocking scene. As Hyun Sung continues to pummel Park Min Chul, he reflects on the 10 years he spent simulating this revenge scenario in his mind. Hyun Sung explains Park Min Chul's fighting style, emphasizing that it relies solely on his physique, and he's not accustomed to being hit. Hong Sung calculated each move, ensuring that Park Min Chul would collapse under the pressure. He throws Park Min Chul toward a corner and begins a relentless series of kicks. In his mind, Hong Sung expresses the satisfaction he feels, having waited for this moment for so long. He doesn't care whether Park Min Chul is beaten to death. As part one of this gripping tale concludes, Hong Sung stands victorious in his quest for revenge. The classroom echoes with the aftermath of the intense confrontation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to stay updated on the unfolding drama. Don't forget to push that like button to show your support for Hong Sung's journey. For part 2, dive deeper into the unfolding narrative by commenting "Devil." Your engagement and enthusiasm fuel this gripping saga. Hong Sung's story has only just begun, and the devilish twists and turns await. See you soon as the revenge saga continues in part 2.